What's up, everyone? This is Cody, and I'm back here today with another decode. And I have just some crazy ritualistic stuff to show you, as usual, in this video. So stick around, and you're going to see exactly how our reality is rigged by the rulers through the media, through the numerical code that they use every day. And in parts of this decode, you don't even need the numbers. It's clear to see the ritual here. So the first thing I want to mention is that this headline I have on the screen here is from Taylor Hawkins, the drummer from the Foo Fighters. He just died on March 25th, 2022. And in his final performance with the band, he sang the song Somebody to Love by Queen. And this is what's going to lead into the thought that I believe I've already talked about in my last few videos, how the Queen is getting close, and they've already been releasing articles saying that the Queen is not able to show up to her Easter. And some people think that she already passed, and that they're just going to wait to release the news on the right day. So if the right day is what I think it is, and as you're going to see in this decode, I'm going to show you what I think that day will be. So anyways, Taylor Hawkins dies on March 25th. In his final performance, he's the drummer, but he gets up and he takes the lead of the band, and he sings this song by Queen, Somebody to Love. Now again, guys, the band is Queen, and I'm talking about the Queen dying, and he just died, Taylor Hawkins. So this is the connection. You don't even need the numbers to understand that he's singing a Queen song. And the Queen is the Queen, and I think that she might pass, or the announcement might come. So anyways, don't want to be long-winded. Let's move through this. Notice that Taylor Hawkins, not only did he sing the Queen song in his final performance, but notice that the part of the band Queen, his name is Brian May. In this article at the bottom here from Metal Castle, you're going to see that Brian May is talking about Taylor Hawkins, and he says he was the most devoted Queen fan. And notice the top article says that Taylor Hawkins and his love affair with Queen. So it wasn't just like he just randomly decided to sing this song. No, they made the narrative that he was a huge Queen fan. He actually played on one of Brian May's albums, Brian May is part of Queen. And again, he sings this Queen song in his last performance. Okay, this is foreshadowing, absolutely for sure, and I'm going to show you how. So let's look at the code, guys. So for any of you unfamiliar, this is gematria, the practice of coding words into numerical values so that you can code things and pretty much code everything in the media, in the movies, in the news. And I'm going to show you how these numbers are all lined up. So the first thing I want to talk about is Somebody to Love, the song by Queen. The second line of the song, I noticed that it said, I die a little. And when I saw that, I knew immediately I had to decode that. So I typed it into the calculator. But the first thing I want to mention before I get to that is that Elizabeth II, which is her most well-known title, is a direct match to Somebody to Love. Okay? Notice it's a 61, a 191, a 65, and a 110. That means that these two words are direct matches, okay? And again, it's a song by Queen, and he sang it before he died, okay? And it directly matches to her title. So again, let's go here. Notice that I die a little, again, is a match with a 106 to Queen Elizabeth II, okay? But also notice that I die a little has a 52, okay, which can be written May 2nd, and this is the date that I'm gonna throw out there, guys, as a possible day. Now, notice that Somebody to Love, okay, Somebody to Love, I die a little, and Elizabeth II all have 191, so they're direct match in one cipher, and almost a direct match in all the ciphers. If I zoom out here, you guys can see that it's very closely, all three of these phrases are very closely related. Now, let's move on to the next part that is this decode. So in the last performance of his career before he died, Taylor Hawkins sang the Queen song "Somebody to Love," and in the Foo Fighters set list that night, the song "Somebody to Love" was the 12th song on the set list. As you guys can see here, I've got it highlighted. Queen song is number 12, "Somebody to Love." Now, why is that important, guys? Well, if the Queen were to die on May 2nd, 2022, it would be her 12th day of her 96th year of life, or technically her 97th year of life, but it would be her 12th day after her birthday. And it's the 12th song on the Foo Fighters set list. So just think about that for a moment. Now, another thing about the Foo Fighters is a few months before Taylor, actually exactly a month before Taylor Hawkins died, on February 25th, 2022, the Foo Fighters released a movie called Studio666, in which Taylor Hawkins actually dies in the movie, guys. But it's a month before he actually dies in real life that they released this. Notice that Studio666, okay, "I Die a Little" from the Queen song that he sings, and "Elizabeth II" are all 106. Not only that, guys, but you have the 52s again. Again, May 2nd is the day I'm throwing out. It can be written 5-2. Right? So notice, again, the correlation between all three of these phrases. Now, another thing I wanted to throw out here is that in my prior couple videos, which if you haven't seen them, I recommend going back and watching, because it's going to be you're going to understand more of this Queen stuff, because I talked about Operation Springtide in a couple videos ago. But let me explain what this is. Operation Springtide is basically the details of how they will handle Queen Elizabeth's death, the plans for what they will do when she dies. And so notice there's two operations here, Operation London Bridge and Operation Springtide. I want to focus on Operation Springtide because, as you can see, guys, Operation Springtide and Foo Fighters, Studio666, are a direct match, 234, 108, and 108, both 108. Okay? And notice that even Operation Springtide and Queen Elizabeth II, if you spell it out, is almost a direct match. 243, 108, 117, and 108. All matches. Now, the number I want you to focus on from here on out is the 234 and the 243. Again, they're just rearrangements of each other, but these two numbers are important for understanding why I believe May 2nd. And just so you guys know, Operation Springtide and London Bridge are supposed to take place over a 10-day period. So from the time the Queen dies and 10 days later to her funeral, this is what these operations are all about. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind, that this is a 10-day operation. Okay? Now, a little quick thing before I get into the 234s. I want to show that from the release date of the Studio666 by the Foo Fighters on February 25th, notice that it was a 56% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And guys, if you go over here, you're going to see that day was the 56th day of the year. February 25th was the 56th day of the year. And if you measure from February 26th or 25th, the release date of Studio666, to the birthday, which is today, guys. Actually, today is April 21st. To today is 56 days. So not only did you have a 56% rating on the movie on the 56th day of the year, but you also had a 56 days from the Queen's birthday. Okay? Again, it's completely lined up perfectly. Again, for any of you who are not familiar, the people who run our Society of Jesus equals 56. So a huge number in this ritual. Now, if you measure from the release date of Studio666 to the day I think the Queen might pass, which is May 2nd, you're going to get 66 days. Remember, the movie is called Studio666, and it just happens to be 66 days before May 2nd. Again, that's another reason why I think this day is possibly it. Now, let me show you May 2nd, okay? May 2nd is the day leaving 243 days left in the year. Notice that Operation Spring Tide is 234, kind of like a rearranging of the 243. But notice that if you type Queen Elizabeth II out, you're going to get 243. So if she dies that day, on the day leaving 243 days, it will be because her name equals 243. Okay? Notice that her son's name at the bottom, Charles Philip Arthur George, who will take over for her if she dies, he also equals 234. Just like Operation Spring Tide. And again, 234 is a anagram of 243, May 2nd, the day leaving 243 days. And so this is the last slide, guys. This is all I got. So again, I told you that Operation Spring Tide and Operation London Bridge is a 10-day operation from the Queen's death to her funeral. Notice that if you do the math and you do the span of days between May 2nd and 10 days later, on May 11th, you're going to get, look at this, guys. You're going to get May 2nd is the 243rd day of the year. Remember, I just told you about the 243. But not only that, guys, May 11th is the 234th day of the year. So this is the perfect time for this ritual, because look at the bottom again, guys. Queen Elizabeth, 243. Operation Springtide, 234. And her son, who's going to take over for her, Charles Philip Arthur George, 234. So if she dies on May 2nd, the day leaving 243 days, and her son, her funeral is on the day leaving 234 days, it's perfect. And it's exactly 10 days, just like the operation calls for. So yeah, guys, I mean, this to me is so precisely calculated that I think this is very possible. So if you guys, well, we're going to see. You know, I just like throwing stuff. I like to try to make some predictions sometimes, and I just have fun with it. But, you know, I think this one's probably one of my most dead on, I think, because of all the numbers lining up. There's more I could have showed you. But anyways, guys, I think my cat just knocked over a whole bunch of stuff in the kitchen, so that, I don't know if you guys heard that. But anyways, I'll cut this video short. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.